Okay, sorry about that. Hello and welcome to the Mass Effect Trilogy at Level 1. Today we begin the first part of what I think is the most fun of the three games to Level 1. Mass Effect 3. Before we, get into it, let me explain a few things. If you've kind of skipped the first two games and are just watching the Mass Effect 3 run, or if you haven't, seen anything prior and this is the first one you've clicked on, the Mass Effect trilogy run at level 1 is obviously split up into each game individually, and specifically Mass Effect 2 and 3 have added rules just to make them, I think, a bit more interesting, a bit harder, really, hammer in this is meant to be a challenging run. Because if I'm playing on the easiest modes for these two games, they're going to be very easy. The reason why Mass Effect 1 is separated from that is just because the game genuinely, due to how it is set up, in my opinion, or maybe not my opinion, I don't think it's possible to actually beat in a timely manner. I think you theoretically could beat it on Insanity at level 1, but it's just not that fun to me. I've already done the run twice in the past, 3 times currently, this series of runs. And I find it much more enjoyable to put it on those lower difficulties. Not because it necessarily makes it easier, it's still very, very challenging. It's just making certain parts of the mission, which yes does make it easier, but I personally find it more enjoyable, which at the end of the day, this was a challenge run kind of made for a funny idea that was meant to be sort of enjoyable and challenging, obviously. So Mass Effect 1, its major rule is level 1 equipment only, and I can only use the skill points I had when I was at level 1, which, it's not that complicated. Mass Effect 2, on the other hand, there are a plethora of new rules added to the run. First and foremost, let's get to the biggest rule change between Mass Effect and Mass Effect 2. I have to play Mass Effect 2 on Insanity, which is the game's hardest difficulty. That already, Insanity runs already by many people believe that it is so crazy hard that doing a lot else just doesn't make sense. But, I personally don't think Insanity's that crazy when you're adding, every skill point upgrades, all of those things, right? So, two of the other rules, obviously, any skill points I have at level 1 are the only skill points I get to use on myself. Squad mates get to use any skill points they earn through, I can't use any skill points they get from level up, but any skill points they get from alternative sources is allowed, which essentially means that the skill point they get for beating their trust mission, I can also have, the ability to use that skill point, which, again, it's just making the run a little bit more fun, and also I can't stop them from gaining those skill points, but for Mass Effect 2, another rule is I can't use any of the weapon or armor upgrades, anything that is a multi-stage upgrade, I am not allowed to use. So whether that's a 1 of 5 or 1 of 2, I can't get any of those. However, I can get any single time upgrades or like buy weapons, buy armors, those sorts of things. Again, just to make the run a little bit more interesting, a little bit harder, but still having a sense of diversity and fun added onto it. Again, it's not meant to be a minimalist, or not even again. This isn't meant to be a minimalist run. This is meant to just be here are the things I find enjoyable for the game. When, restricting myself to skill points that I only have. The other thing was in Mass Effect 2, I had to make sure to recruit all characters, do all loyalty missions, and do all major DLCs. I also couldn't have anyone die at the end of Mass Effect 2, and there was like sort of an addendum rule that exists that I not had to, but I kind of forced myself for my own pleasure for it to finish all of Mass Effect 2 with Paragon choices. So, to get Zaid, this was really good. To get Zaid, I had to not have Ito die, and I had to convince Zaid to remain loyal, which I just found a little more interesting. Mass Effect 3, the one that I think the rule set is the most... Oh, one other thing for Mass Effect 2, I also didn't allow myself to use any heavy weapons, which was fun. It made for a much more interesting run. I did do that run one time before, and while it wasn't easy, I would say, heavy weapons did make any fight kind of trivial, so I figured to get rid of it the last time. Mass Effect 3, honestly, this one was hard to find a real rule set for because there are a lot of, added, maybe not added mechanics, but definitely different mechanics that makes it hard to kind of change how do I put this? Pretty much, there aren't just weapons that you can pick up, but also attachments. Similar to the upgrade system in Mass Effect 2. But also each attachment has its own series of levels, which at first I was like, I'll ban those. But then the problem became is that as you play through the game, many of those attachments you can find again and again and again. And by finding an attachment you already have, it is automatically leveled up, which isn't me doing anything, it's the game doing it itself. However, similar to Mass Effect 1, I decided that I could only use attachments that started at, I could only use attachments if they're at level 1. Pretty much what this ends up meaning is that very often, if I see an attachment, I save right beforehand, and when I pick it up, if it's a new upgrade, or if it's a new attachment, it'll show me level 1. If it's an upgrade I already had, it'll go to level 2, in which case I reload the previous save. If I accidentally save over an attachment that is already at level 1 and goes to level 2, then I just can't use that attachment anymore. It's essentially banned. The same thing goes for gun pickups. There's only one case where it pops up where you can get a gun leveled up by picking up 2 of the same gun, from what I know of. It's not the biggest deal, but I am going to ban it just for the sake of the fact I can't do that with attachments. Obviously, other major rule, any skill points I have at level 1 are the only skill points I get to use for both me and my squad mates. This one's tricky because I don't fully remember how many skill points I get without just starting a new game altogether. And since I'm porting my previous save from Mass Effect 2, as I did from Mass Effect 2 to Mass Effect 1, I am going to actually need to double check. I believe for Mass Effect 3, Shepard gets 3 skill points and each squad mate only gets 1. But it might be squad mates get 3 and Shepard gets 4, squad mates get 2 and Shepard gets 3. I'm not positive, so that's just something I'll have to check. But without further ado, actually, here, this is what I can do. I'm gonna load a save of my previous level 1 run, which should be my most recent save for this game, just to double check what like me and my squad mates have level wise. Like I'll find a auto save from a mission or something like that. Because I did get very far. The only reason I wasn't able to make this like done a lot earlier, quite literally, was the fact. Yeah, like look, I had 13 hours put into this. I'll just reload this save real quick. Kind of ignore any dialogue, just skip through it all. And this is again just to double check my levels and stuff. How many skill points I have. That's a better way of putting it. Whoa! This is very clearly not the level 1 run. This was just a standard run. God damn it, all of them are called Rain. Why are these a year apart? Dude, how many Rains do I have? What the fuck? I think this started as my level 1 mode. Because this is Soul Survivor Spacer Engineer, which is what I had it. So one second. If I go to, let's say... let's go to back to Tuchanka, I guess. I reload back to here. I'm curious to see... There we go, okay. So yeah, Shepard gets 3 powers. And yeah, okay. Squad mates get 1. Interesting. This is going to make for a very interesting run, let me tell you. I did forget. I guess that gets us to the next most important thing about the run, which is our class and personal skill. Let me load this shit up. We're going to be playing on Aedion Shepard, Spacer, War Hero, and Soldier. Done this year. Dang, I have not played Trilogy on this that often. Okay, so I guess the major things: saved the Rachni Queen, rescued Kaidan, chose to save the Council, saved Maylin's data, kept Rex alive, chose to rewrite the Geth Heretics, destroyed the Collector base, survived the mission with 12 squad mates, which is all of them, did not romance anyone before Mass Effect 2, and romance Tali in Mass Effect 2. So yeah. We'll click the autosave because it had the most amount of time. It doesn't really matter, I could have clicked save 30. Both would have been effective. As for face, I'm actually gonna change a little bit of it. So yeah, keep that. Gonna lighten Shepard Actually, we'll keep him where he's at. Complexion was fine. I think it's just the mouth and jaw that I want to kind of edit. There we go. His mouth was just popping out too much. And then hair. Just because I kind of forgot what hairs there are. Okay, we'll stick with the same hair. Beard. Nah. We'll just give him small little soul patch right now. We'll be a cleanly shaven shepherd. Because, like, I think this was the facial hair I had. It just doesn't look right, in my opinion. It looks wrong. Same with, like, the full aftershave. But, like, you know what? Nah, we'll do that one. There we go, we get full black hair again. Why does he look so tired? We'll do that. I think that's good enough. So, confirm selection. Okay. So, here's the funny part. Pretty much, in Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2, the best class both times was Soldier. The reason being, in Mass Effect 1, Soldier was the only class that had access to heavy armor, and with the removal of armors going into Mass Effect 2 in terms of, like, class-specific armors, there wasn't a reason to pick Soldier for that. However, the reason in Mass Effect 2 was that Soldier had access to all guns, and Adrenaline Rush in Mass Effect 2 is genuinely, like, far and away the best level 1 power, just because of the fact it quite literally single-handedly keeps Shepard alive, and lets him burst down targets, while, like, Tactical Cloak is debatably better in Mass Effect 2. Actually, it probably just straight up is better. It's just the fact that you don't have access to... You need the mix of all weapons and, like, how good Adrenaline Rush is. So, Soldier was good in Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 3, the problem with Soldier is straight up the fact that Adrenaline Rush just isn't that useful. Like, it's still good, but it's not as crazy as it was in Mass Effect 2. And the much more important part is that all classes now have access to all guns again, which it effectively makes Soldier, like, redundant, because its best quality in Mass Effect 2 doesn't even exist in Mass Effect 3. So it just doesn't make sense to pick it. Infiltrator is definitely one of the options one of the best options specifically for this run. Tactical Cloak is an insanely good power. It is a panic button to instantly get aggro off of Shepard and onto a teammate, or if your teammates are dead, just in general, it lets Shepard reposition. However, the main problem is that tactical, while under invisible, while in the cloak, Shepard's health and shields do not regen. It takes until after he's out of cover. And on certain missions where you just don't really have areas to reposition that well, Tactical Cloak kind of, it becomes a crutch. You want to press it more often than it's actually useful to press it, and very often it just feels like the ability gets your squad mates killed way more than most other abilities. Like, every other ability doesn't actively get your squad mates killed, and Tactical Cloak does, because enemies have to snap lock onto another target, and so Tactical Cloak is often going to be the reason why your teammates end up getting killed in many situations. So it's the only big takeaway from it. It is great, it's very fun, and if you make a good build around it, it definitely could be the best one. At level 1 though, where squad mates are genuinely important to keep alive for as long as possible, it doesn't matter, in my opinion. It can fuck up so easily. It just puts you in bad spots more often than it probably should. So I'm gonna be skipping out on it. Vanguard is a very interesting class. It has 2 ammo types, which are whatever. They can be good in certain situations. Shockwave and Pull are decent disruptive powers. Get enemies stunned for a second. Biotic Charge, one of the best abilities in the game if you're doing a normal playthrough. Normal playthrough, Vanguard is by far and away the best class. Even for this, Vanguard is a very good class because of the fact many fights you don't actually need to beat in this game. You can run past most encounters, and Biotic Charge allows you to kind of cheese this game in a way the other classes don't let you, except maybe Infiltrator. It is very, very good if you know what you're doing, but at level 1, it's just a little too weak. Instant shield regen is nice, but it's nothing crazy. Especially since you're gonna almost always want to be on the front lines with Vanguard, and a run like this, being on the front lines gets you killed. And unlike Mass Effect 2, where you have pseudo invincibility after your shields kind of break, Mass Effect 3 does not have that. So if the second your shields break, you're taking health damage, and you take so much damage in this game that I just don't see how you could effectively make Vanguard work in most fights at level 1 specifically. It definitely, there's a chance it could be really good for this kind of run, but I just don't see it. Sentinel, sadly, what I think is the best class in Mass Effect 2, falls short in Mass Effect 3. Tech armor got severely nerfed. I think grenades are really, really strong when you have them. The problem is that you very often won't have them, and you just have at level 1, you just have a empty power that could be on something more important. Very often it just doesn't work out for you. Throw is okay, warp is okay. You have a lot of okay powers, but nothing really speaks out. If tech armor was a bit better, it would probably be the class we would actually pick for this run, just because it does have good survivability. Tech armor does do damage resistance better than any of the other possible things you can have, so it is definitely an intriguing option. But the fact that Lift Grenade is essentially a waste of a power most of the time, and all the other powers don't really have like, they are good for priming biotic explosions, which are very good. It's just Adept, okay. This one hurts me because I, going into this run, thought Adept was going to be the best. Singularity is amazing. Shockwave is great for stuns. Throw's great for stuns. Pull and warp or whatever for Sentinel. Overload's fine as well. Adept, having Singularity and Throw, I thought was going to be really, really good. But as it turns out, Adept is probably the worst for this run. Maybe not the worst. Soldier's probably the worst. Adept, its biggest problem is just the fact that you can only do biotic explosions. You have no ability to deal with shielded targets, and every single enemy type in this game has some form of shielded enemy. And while there are definitely like health and armor enemies that you can abuse biotic explosions on much more effectively, tech explosions, one, do the same thing, and two, and much more importantly, having the ability to deal a lot of shield damage instantly with abilities like Overload is just so important. Like Sentinel, again, it's why Sentinel might be the best class. Like, I know I kind of was downplaying it, but Sentinel is really, 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 really good for this kind of run. Like, it's why Soldier, Infiltrator, and Vanguard are just ones we're not even thinking about. Same with Adept. It's, like, Adept is so close to being really good, but it just, you put all your eggs into one basket, and sadly, that basket isn't as good as some of the other baskets you could be putting your eggs into. And then there's Engineer. Traditionally, the worst class in Mass Effect games. So much so that they actually have a line of dialogue in this game if you play Engineer on the Omega DLC. And it's kind of funny, but debatably the worst class in the game for, you know, your standard runs. Incinerate, Overload, Cryoblast, like, they're fine. Sabotage, there's like no mech based enemies, no there's very few Geth missions, which are, it's like the only time you can use it. I guess you can use it on the like Cerberus turrets, but even then it's not going to be that often. Like, Sabotage is essentially useless. Cryoblast and Incinerate are fun and interesting. Overload is really good. The main reason why Engineer has any use at higher levels is because of Combat Drone, sort of, but most importantly, Sentry Drone, which actually, like, is really decent. Now, the fun thing, and if anyone was watching the Mass Effect 2 run, they'll know why I'm about to say this, is that at level 1, Engineer is far and away, in my opinion, the best class. And it is because of Combat Drone. Combat Drone is essentially, I would say, a better variant of Tactical Cloak, which makes no sense. They do very different things. Like, you know, Tactical Cloak, you go invisible, lets you reposition, and get like one shot off while undercover. But the main problem with that is that Tactical Cloak, you stay invisible, right? Or you can't regen your health when you're invisible still. So very often, what ends up occurring is that you just put yourself in a further back area, and you still have to deal with enemies, and your squad mates are now dead because they don't know how to effectively reposition when they're getting shot at. Engineer with Combat Drone allows you to make no one on your team getting shot at. Sentry Turret actually also helps deal with aggro to an extent as well, and just lets you have that little bit more DPS that can sometimes help save a run or save a mission. And it lets you reposition, it lets your allies reposition if you know how to use the powers effectively. Engineer genuinely makes level 1, like, I would say much more fun, and to an extent it makes it like easier. Combat Drone and Sentry Turret really are just so good, and Overload as well. Like, you have the 3 powers that you want to put your points on. Adept, you have, like, you're gonna put powers probably on Singularity, Throw, and Warp. Sentinel, like, you have, the problem is you also have the personal skill coming up. And Adept, like, you want your 3 normal powers, and you kind of have to force yourself only to 2 of those. Sentinel, you want 3 powers, or you want 4 powers, but you only have access to 3. Adapt, 4 powers, but only access to 3. Vanguard, you want every single one of your powers, but you only have access to 3. Infiltrator, you can probably get away with, like, Tactical Cloak and Ammo Type and then something else, but again, you want access to more powers. Soldier, Soldier is the only other one where Adrenaline Rush, Ammo Type, Personal Skill is the only other one where it'd be good, but the problem is that Soldier is just not very good for this run. Engineer, you don't have that problem. Like, okay, you can run Sentry Turret, Combat Drone, and Overload, or you can run Combat Drone, Sentry Turret, Personal Skill, or you can run Combat Drone, Overload, Personal Skill. So long as you have Combat Drone, you're fine. As for this, personal skill wise, there's not a lot of options that are, like, really great, I would say. Lash is fun. It helps out a lot in Cerberus missions. However, a squad mate with Pull can do the same exact thing. Or just effectively placing your shots onto the shield guys for Cerberus. It's fine, and other than for Cerberus things, it's not that great. Flare is actually a huge amount of burst damage, but that's about it. Doesn't really do that much for you overall. It is interesting, but its recharge time is way too long for you to really be able to use your other powers, and you kind of want Combat Drone up as often as you can. Dominate, it's not that good. Don't do it. Dark Channel, it's not that good. Don't do it. Dominate is interesting because it allows you to do what Sabotage wishes it could do, which is essentially hack organic enemies. It's interesting, but it's not good. Very often a enemy shooting at someone isn't going to be doing you a whole lot when it's for 5 seconds. It can be like a better version of Combat Drone occasionally, but more often than not, it's not. Dark Channel is only good when you start getting to its much higher levels. Slam's not good. Armor piercing ammo is interesting, just because you don't have a lot of ways to do massive armor damage. But it can kind of be a waste of a slot sometimes. Fortification, it's not that good. You get more melee damage and slight, like very slight defensive use. This gives you an instant burst of shield, which, you know, sounds interesting, but again, it's not that good. Barrier is, again, like, you get some damage reduction. You get more damage reduction. Actually, I don't even think Fortification gives you damage reduction anymore. Uh, Barrier does, so it's probably the best between these three, but probably find another ability still. Warp Ammo's decent, Reeve is decent, Energy Drain is pretty good, Defense Drone is pretty good, Decoy is pretty good, just because it does sort of the same thing as Combat Drone. Honestly, Combat Drone Sentry Turret Decoy is a very funny synergy, because it essentially forces most of the enemies to not even pay attention to you and your squad mates. But Decoy also, if an enemy shoots at it, they very quickly realize it's not going to be doing anything, so they stop shooting at it. But it is funny. Proximity Mine, no. Carnage, no. In reality, none of these are really that great. Your best bet is probably Defense Drone. It can help stun enemies near you. I know it's funny, the drones kind of take the cake for the best. Warp Ammo, though, can also help for Reapers, specifically, as well as, like, it helps you versus Banshees, it helps you versus Phantoms for Cerberus, it helps you into the armored enemies that exist in the game. So Warp Ammo also is, like, pretty decent. Probably better than armor-piercing ammo, but it is the difference of barriers and armor, or definitely better into armor. So, take your pick. Warp, probably better. And as for me, I'm actually just going to do Warp Ammo. And there we go. I know, very long explanation, but EA presents Bass Effect 3.
How bad is it?
Bad.
Real bad.
We just lost contact with 2 of our deep space outposts. There's something massive on long-range scanners.
Is this what Shepard warned us about?
I'd stake my life on it.
How long do we have?
Not long.
Not long. I sent word. The fleets are
Real
mobilizing.
quick.
God help us all.
Okay, unplug. But for the sake of cinematicness, I think this is where my speaking will end. There's not really a whole lot to talk about for the first few missions of the game, and I'm really only going to be doing Earth, maybe Mars, and calling it a night. It is already like 1 a.m. where I'm at, so... This will do it for me for the day.
Commander.
You're not supposed to call me that anymore, James.
Not supposed to salute you either. We gotta go. The Defense Committee wants to see you.
Sounds important. What's going on?
Couldn't say. Just told me they needed you. Now.
Anderson?
Admiral?
You look good, Shepard. Maybe a little soft around the edges. How you holding up since being relieved from duty?
It's not so bad once you get used to the hot food and soft beds.
We'll get it sorted out.
What's going on? Why is everyone in such a hurry?
Admiral Hackett's mobilizing the fleets. I'm guessing word's made it to Alliance Command. Something big's headed our way.
The Reapers?
We don't know. Not for certain.
What else could it be?
If I knew that.
You know we're not ready if it is then. Not by a long shot.
Tell that to the Defense Committee.
Unless we're planning to talk the Reapers to death, the committee is a waste of time.
They're just scared. None of them have seen what you've seen. You faced down a Reaper. Hell, you spoke to one, then blew the damn thing up. You've seen how they harvest us, what they plan to do to us. You know more about this enemy than anyone.
That why they grounded me? Took away my ship?
You know that's not true. When you blew up the Batarian relay, hundreds of thousands of Batarians died.
It was that or let the Reapers walk through our back door.
I know that, Shepard. And so does the committee. If it wasn't for that, you'd have been court-martialed and left to rot in the brig.
That, in your good word?
Yeah, I trust you, Shepard. And so does the committee.
I'm just a soldier, Anderson. I'm no politician.
I don't need you to be either. I just need you to do whatever the hell it takes to help us stop the Reapers.
They're expecting you to, Admiral.
Good luck in there, Shepard.
Anderson? Shepard? Kate?
How'd it go in there, Major?
Okay, I think. Hard to know. I'm just waiting for orders now.
Major?
You hadn't heard?
No, I'm a bit out of the loop these days.
Sorry, sir. Didn't mean to keep you out of the loop.
I'm sure you had your reasons.
Yeah, I suppose I did. Still, it's good to see you.
Admiral,
Come on.
You know the commander?
I used to.
Admiral Anderson. Shepard.
What's the situation?
We were hoping you would tell us.
The reports coming in are unlike anything we've seen. Whole colonies have gone dark. We've lost contact with everything beyond the Sol Relay.
Whatever this is, it's incomprehensibly powerful.
You brought me here to confirm what you already know. The Reapers are here.
Then, how do we stop them?
Stop them. This isn't about strategy or tactics. This is about survival. The Reapers are more advanced than we are. More powerful, more intelligent. They don't fear us. And they'll never take pity on us.
But there must be some way.
If we're gonna have any chance at surviving this, we have to stand together.
That's it? That's our plan?
Admiral, we've lost contact with Luna Base.
The moon? It couldn't be that close already.
How'd they get past our defenses?
Sir, UK headquarters has a visual.
Why haven't we heard from Admiral Hackett?
What do we do?
The only thing we can. We fight, or we die.
We should get to the Normandy. Shepard! Come on, get up. Here, take this. We've got to get moving. This is Admiral Anderson, report in, anyone. Major Alenko, is that you? What's your status? I can't raise the Normandy. You'll have to contact her. We'll meet you at the landing zone. Anderson up. They're massive. Come on, Shepard. Look out! How do you stop something so powerful? Take a running jump. It's farther than it looks. Come on, let's go. Come on. We'll have to go this way. Looks clear. Let's go. Major, you read me. I'm patching in Shepard. Take him out! Shoot him! You haven't forgot how to shoot, have you? Take him out! I'm out of ammo. Come on, we gotta move. I can take these things out the old-fashioned way. Don't let him grab you. Watch it! Through this way.
Hey. It's okay.
Everyone's dying.
Come here. I need to get you someplace safe. Take my hand.
You can't help me.
Shepard! In here. This is a goddamn mess. Every minute these machines are here, thousands of innocent people die. I won't be responsible.
It's hard enough fighting a war, but it's worse knowing no matter how hard you try, you can't save them all.
Exactly. It's so fast. I thought we'd have more time.
We knew they were coming.
And they still just cut through our defenses. We need to go to the Citadel. Talk to the Council.
The Citadel? The fight's here.
It'll be everywhere soon enough. You said it yourself. The Reapers will destroy everything if we don't stop them. The Council has to help us. You sure about that? No, but you're a Council Spectre. That has to count for something. Gotcha!
Thanks. I owe you one.
More than one. Grab some ammo. Reload, let's keep moving. Come on, it hasn't been that long since you've handled a weapon. So, Major Alenko, we're inside of the spaceport. ETA 3 minutes. Normandy, we're going to reroute. Do you copy? Normandy, come in, please.
You two all right?
Get down, they'll see you.
Keep your head down. Nice shot. Normandy, come in. Friendlies.
You two all right?
Get down, they'll see you.
Keep your head down. Nice shot. Finish them off. Shepard, over here. What happened here?
Our gunship was shot down. We barely made it.
You have a radio? We're trying to contact our ship.
No. There's one in the gunship, but it's gonna be crawling with those things.
Stay here, son. We'll get you out of here. Come on. Let's get to that gunship. What the hell are those things? Normandy, this is Anderson. Do you read?
Admiral, what's your location?
By a downed gunship in the harbor. I'm activating its distress beacon. Send support. We've got wounded down here. Major! Damn it! I lost the signal.
Let's hope that beacon does its job.
And fast. We've got company. About time!
Let's go.
Welcome aboard, Shepard.
Thanks.
Shepard!
Come on!
I'm not going. You saw those men back there. There's a million more like them, and they need a leader.
We're in this fight together, Anderson.
It's a fight we can't win. Not without help. We need every species, and all their ships, to even have a chance at defeating the Reapers. Talk to the Council. Convince them to help us.
What if they won't listen?
Then make them listen. Now go! That's an order.
I don't take orders from you anymore, remember?
Consider yourself reinstated, Commander. You know what you have to do.
I'll be back for you, and I'll bring every fleet I can. Good luck.
You too, Shepard.
What the hell's going on? Where's Anderson? Where are we going? Hey!
We're leaving.
Leaving?
What's going on?
Anderson wants us to go to the Citadel. Get help for the fight.
Bullshit, he wouldn't order us to leave.
We don't have a choice. Without help, this war's already over.
Forget it. Drop me off someplace.
Enough! Don't you think I'd rather stay and fight? We're going to the Citadel. You want out, you can catch a ride back from there.
Commander!
Joker, that you?
Alive and kicking. Got an emergency transmission from Admiral Hackett for you.
Patch it through.
Shepard, sustained heavy losses. The force was overwhelming. There's no way we can defeat them conventionally.
Anderson's already ordered me to the Citadel to talk to the Council.
First, I need you to Lance outpost on Mars. We lose control of the system.
Yes, sir.
archives with Dr. Tassoni. You found a way to stop the Reapers. The only way to stop them. Contact soon. Hack it out.
Joker, set a course for the Mars archives.
Mars? Roger that.
This is local.
Why Mars? What do you think we'll find there?
I don't know yet. But if it helps us win this war... grab your gear. Any sign of Reaper activity?
Negative.
EDI?
The base appears to be online. It's possible the inhabitants were evacuated.
We'll know soon enough. Be ready, Joker. Just in case.
Roger that. Normandy out.
We're almost there.
Still no contact from the base, but we've got a massive storm headed our way.
How long till it hits?
Half hour tops. After that, we're gonna have difficulty keeping up comms with the Normandy.
Understood.
Man, that's a huge storm. Looks a lot bigger in person. Pretty average for Mars, actually. I'm glad you're so optimistic.
Yeah, we've got Reapers invading Earth. The station here is off.
What's that? Cerberus, weren't they?
Sure looked like it.
Cerberus, what are they doing here on Mars?
Good question.
You don't know.
I'm not with them anymore, Caden, if that's what you're asking.
It wasn't, but you have to admit, it's a bit, convenient. Look out!
Those guys were Cerberus, weren't they? Sure looked like it. Good question.
You don't know.
I'm not with them anymore, Caden, if that's what you...
Look out!
Doesn't look like they came here in force. Yeah, just a few vehicles.
Must have had help from the inside.
You could be right.
No way they could take this facility with anything less than a full battalion. Shepard, I need a straight answer.
About what?
Do you know anything about why Cerberus is here?
What makes you think I know what they're up to?
You work for them, for God's sakes. How am I not supposed to think that?
We joined forces to take down the Collectors. That's it.
There's more to it. They rebuilt you from the ground up. They give you a ship. Resources.
Let me be clear. I've had no contact with Cerberus since I destroyed the Collector base. And I have no idea why they're here now or what they want. Commander Shepard's been under constant surveillance since coming back to Earth. No way they've communicated since.
Sorry, Shepard. It's just that...
I shouldn't have to explain myself to you, Caden. Please, trust me.
I do, I'm sorry. I didn't mean...
Easy there, Lieutenant. She's with us.
Shepard, thank the goddess you're alive.
Liara.
I was worried when the reports came in. They hit Earth hard.
Yeah. It was hard to leave like that.
Caden, I'm sorry. But why'd you come here?
Hackett ordered us to come. Said you'd know what was going on.
I do.
Hallelujah. Some answers, finally.
Maybe. I've discovered plans for a Prothean device. One that could wipe out the Reapers.
Here on Mars?
In the Prothean archives, yes.
I guess I'll believe it when I see it. Where do we find this weapon?
It's not a weapon, not yet. It's plans for a device. A blueprint.
It's more than we had a minute ago. How do we get it?
The archives are just across that tramway. Assuming Cerberus hasn't locked it down.
What are they after?
Yeah, they seem hell-bent on catching you.
They want what I'm here for. What we're all here for.
But why?
The Protheans came close to defeating the Reapers. They had plans to destroy them, but ran out of time.
And anything powerful enough to destroy the Reapers.
Just might be something Cerberus would be interested in.
So it's a race to the archives.
We've got company.
Bring it on.
Not this time, James.
What?
Get back to the shuttle. If Cerberus beats us to the archives, I need you covering the exits.
But...
Now, Lieutenant.
I hear them. We should take cover.
Looks like they found us. Not a problem for someone with biotics. You can't hide forever. That's all of them.
Good. Let's find a way up.